So the theme of these conversations is the relationship between faith and reason, God and the university, and particularly your vocation as a computer scientist and your religious faith. So I was wondering if you could just tell me a little bit about your religious background, your religious journey, I guess, as people like to say.
Sure. My religious background, I guess most people start with their childhood, but mine was really that of a proud atheist. I thought, first of all, I just didn't think about religion in the beginning. Then later I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, where a lot of people talked about religion, and I got very turned off about it. I thought it was just for people who were non-thinking, or it was a crutch, or it was just something people did because they grew up with it.
Were your parents just skeptics, and did you have any childhood religious?
No, they just never talked about religion, and we didn't go to church. We did celebrate Christmas with a Christmas tree, but there was never any signs of religiosity associated with it, which was fine with me.
You got the presents, and
Yeah, I got the presents. That's all that mattered, right? As a kid, right? Get your presents and give your presents, and believe that there's something magical about Christmas, that you're always trying to figure out what it is, even unless you know the real reason for Christmas. And I had neighbors who were Christians who kept inviting me to church. I didn't want to go to church. I didn't want to wear a dress or a skirt. I didn't like the idea of church.
Right, and in the South, you actually have to wear
Yeah,
a dress.
exactly.
Right.
It's so funny how it's these trappings of what it is that are, so easily rejected. And eventually they said, after I think like 6 weeks in a row of faking stomach aches to get out of Sunday morning churches, they said, maybe you don't have to go to church, but what matters most is what you believe. Have you read the Bible? And I thought, I've heard that's the best-selling book of all time. No, I haven't read it. Maybe I should, because I considered myself a smart person. I should read the Bible. So I got one of those read the Bible through a year, checkbox. I think it was called The Way. It was one of those paraphrase versions. And I started reading the Bible. And to my not wanting to tell anybody what was happening in me, I started to change. It started to change me. And I thought it would be sort of full of fantastical, crazy stuff. They actually had me start with Proverbs, which was smart because it was full of so much wisdom that I'd read a few verses and I'd have to put it down and ponder what was going on here. And it immediately hit me with my sort of intellectual arrogance that I had a lot to learn from what was written here.